In January 1913, two of Cambridge University's leading mathematicians sat down with an envelope sent from Madras, India. Inside were 11 pages, dense with symbols. The letter detailed complex modular expressions, infinite series, and partition functions. But there was a glaring omission. The writer had not included a single academic proof to show how he reached his answers. G.H. Hardy, one of the scholars examining the letter, initially assumed it was a prank. In the European tradition, a theorem without a step-by-step logical proof is simply meaningless. But as Hardy studied the pages, his skepticism faded. The formulas were so alien and so incredibly specific that they defied fabrication. No one could have invented them as a joke. This stack of paper posed a question to the academic establishment. Who out there was capable of writing down mathematical truths without a formal method for proving them? The answer was Srinivasa Ramanujan, a 25-year-old living in poverty. He possessed no formal training in higher-level mathematics. To survive, he worked for 30 rupees a month as a low-level clerk here in the industrial shipping port of Madras. Academia had repeatedly shut him out. He lost his college scholarship and failed his university exams year after year, largely because he refused to study subjects like physiology. Instead of following a curriculum, Ramanujan followed his faith. He claimed his equations didn't come from calculation. He said they were whispered directly to him in his dreams by the Hindu goddess Nagamiri. This set the stage for a collision between unfiltered intuition and the rigid architecture of the scientific method. To accept Hardy's invitation to Cambridge, Ramanujan had to cross an ocean. At the time, it was widely believed that if a Brahmin stepped onto a ship and crossed the sea, they would lose their caste entirely. The physical shock of England was brutal. Ramanujan traded the heat of South India for a freezing, isolating college campus under the strict rationing and gloom of World War I. Despite the conditions, he and Hardy established an intense rhythm. Ramanujan acted as a source of raw mathematical insight, producing pages of unexplained, staggering results. Hardy stepped in as the meticulous translator. He took Ramanujan's intuitive leaps and spent grueling hours reverse engineering them, building the formal, peer-reviewed proofs required by the scientific community. But for this partnership to work, two entirely different ways of thinking had to find common ground. Their next project would test if Hardy's logic could keep pace with Ramanujan's intuition. This diagram outlines a specific challenge they tackled together, the partition function. It maps out how many ways a whole number can be expressed as a sum. Take the number 5. You can break it down in exactly 7 ways, like 4 plus 1 or 3 plus 2. The math seems simple here, but it contains a scaling problem. As the starting number grows, the combinations explode. 5 has 7 ways, but by the time you reach 10, you have 42 ways. Go much higher, and manual calculation becomes practically impossible. Together, Hardy and Ramanujan conquered the scaling issue. By combining intuitive leaps with strict logic, they formulated a master equation. When applied to a larger number, like 100, the formula accurately generates the answer, over 190 million distinct partitions. The resulting Hardy-Ramanujan formula gave mathematicians a way to predict the behavior of numbers that were once far too large to calculate, bridging the gap between a clerk's dreams and formal academic results. While his mind operated at peak efficiency, publishing 21 groundbreaking papers in just 2 years, his physical condition was quietly deteriorating. The outbreak of the First World War left England with severe food shortages. For a strict vegetarian unaccustomed to the freezing cold, the lack of proper sustenance quickly led to severe malnutrition. Eventually, Ramanujan collapsed entirely. He spent his final months in England bedridden in a sanitarium, suffering from suspected tuberculosis. Yet, as he lay weak and coughing up blood, the scientific community finally validated him. He was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society of London, the same honor held by Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin. He reached the highest level of scientific recognition precisely as the physical world broke his body. In 1919, a fragile Ramanujan returned to India. Though he could barely leave his bed, he spent his remaining months obsessively filling notebooks with new equations. These deathbed writings contained mock theta functions, formulas so complex that Hardy and the Cambridge scholars could not decipher what they meant at the time. It took science nearly a century to catch up. Today, mathematicians recognize that those very functions, pulled from the dreams of a dying man, are now used in the study of string theory and black hole physics. His name resides permanently in the mathematical canon, alongside the figures whose work defines modern science. While Ramanujan's life is a brilliant demonstration of human capability, Jawaharlal Nehru later observed that his early death serves as a warning. Before he ever reached Cambridge, Ramanujan barely survived a series of arbitrary filters. An inflexible physiology exam and a 32 rupee college fee almost kept his genius entirely hidden from the world. If a mind capable of mapping the behavior of black holes through pure intuition only escaped obscurity because of a single lucky letter, we have to ask, how many other profound intellects are currently being lost to poverty and rigid educational systems? The universe does not reserve its secrets for elite institutions. Those truths are waiting out there for anyone, provided we are willing to give them the tools to speak.